Imagine Comfort Time Live. Coming to you live to tackle all of your home comfort concerns with your hosts, Tom and Dino.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Comfort Time Live. Man, we got a good show for you today, so I want you to kick back in your favorite chair. I want you to warm up that popcorn maker.
I'm excited for this one.
I want you to warm up that popcorn maker. I want you to kick back, put your fuzzy Homer Simpson slippers on, and get ready for a ride.
Buckle your seatbelts.
Buckle your seatbelts, because we're in for it. Boy, you're going to laugh. You're going to cry today. And you're going to actually learn something, too.
This is fantastic. I tell you what, I'm excited for this.
And, hey, you know what? They actually found out they're going to start doing this every month now, not every other month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're going to have good show topic. Well, good morning and welcome to Comfort Time Live. Comfort Time Live is a call-in talk show, 340-1590. We're here to educate you, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to help you not be a statistic of the lot of people that we're going to be talking about today. And you're going to find out what that is. But, hey, do not forget to go to comforttimelive.com to find out all the information about what we do. You can actually listen to this show live as long as I push all the right buttons to make it happen.
Can't you? You can listen to it 7 days a week if you want.
You could listen to it You could listen to it. You could listen to it 24 times a day, 7 days a week.
That's right. We got enough material there.
Now, I would probably say after the first week, you'd be probably brought into the insane asylum.
Yeah, but see, you have video of us too, and you know,
people
would want to watch me.
That's even worse. No, we do not supply barf bags.
No, not on this flight.
Not on this flight. All right, well, I tell you, I had an absolutely wonderful day yesterday. I had the opportunity of attending the Contractors exam board, and I don't envy any one of those people that sit on that board. And I started asking Donna Noda, who's part of who's kind of the backbone of the whole thing. Donna, how would somebody become a part of this? And then after she answered me, it's like, oh, okay. And then I started questioning myself as the meeting started to continue. I said, you know what? Wouldn't want to walk a day in their shoes.
No.
Do not want. We have, now I'm going to butcher half of these people's names, but we had Carol Hines, who's the assistant city clerk there, Jason Parrish, Robert
Seek.
Yep,
it's pronounced
there
Seek.
We go. Arlene Brown. We have Michael Flaxman. We have Martin Zintz. We had Greg Oldakowski and Jack Reisinger. And, of course, city attorney was Roger Orr. And all of those folks, I got to give my hats off to them. They have tough decisions that they have to make. And unfortunately, they're not decisions that they can sit down and mull over for hours and hours at a time. Now, some of the decisions I may not 100% agree with, but once again, when you're sitting in the background and you're looking at everything from a different perspective, well, sometimes you have a different perspective.
Well, I tell you what, it was awfully fun because, I really wanted to be there, but I don't think they would have really liked me because I would have been in the back screaming, "You suck, Rock!"
Fry him! Send him to the chair!
That's right.
Well, some of these guys deserve to go that far. But so ComfortTimeLive.com is the place to go. And also, up and running, and every day it's progressing.
The
yes,
comfort.
Yeah.
Hey, the Comfort Time Live Network.
Yes.
Unlicensed to steal. Is that what you're getting ready to talk about?
Sound familiar?
Yes.
I've heard that before.
It's a coin phrase now.
There was some brilliant individual who brought that up, and they are 100% right. The Comfort Time Live Network.
That's right.
And that network involves not only ComfortTimeLive.com, it involves our show here on WPSL 1590. It involves our show on Saturdays that we can't talk about. You got to go to the website and find out about it. And then also we have our show on Blog Talk National Radio on Wednesdays from 7 to 8. And you can go out. So, and then on top of that, we have the new website, Unlicensed to Steal.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about some of the folks that should be on that website later on this week. Now, Unlicensed to Steal is eventually going to be a national website where anyone from any state, any municipality will be able to go to find out about unlicensed activity in their town. Now, most of the individual towns have their own
Municipalities.
yeah. Their own websites, their own places to go. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to find it, so I'm making a website dedicated 100% to unlicensed contractors. Now, I am definitely looking for sponsors to help me get this up and running. Very minimal, looking for sponsorships of only $50 a month. $50 a month will help me to be able to fund the time and effort involved in contacting all the municipalities, uploading all the information onto the website, keeping everything up to date. I mean, if somebody in Hackensack, New Jersey,
Hoboken,
New Jersey, emailed me and said, hey, I want to find out about unlicensed activity in my town, I'm going to call their municipality and I'm going to get them up and running on board. You know, the great thing about that is within Florida, a lot of, even from up north, you get a lot of these people from Jersey, New York, and all different states and counties. They come down to Florida and other states, and they've done unlicensed activity up there. So what this is going to be is as a one-stop shop for even local municipalities to go and look. And maybe if I'll be able to find a way where there could be a reference point where you type in somebody's name specifically, and it'll reference, hopefully, maybe through all these different states.
Very cool.
To find out if this individual has had any unlicensed activity in any other place.
Why, tell me this. Why don't I want to hire an unlicensed contractor?
Why don't you want to
yeah.
hire another? Well, there's a ton of reasons. We could do a whole entire show on that. But a lot of the biggest reasons are the liability if he gets hurt, if he does any work. Besides it being illegal to begin with.
All right.
That's the biggest thing. It's illegal. But the reasons it's illegal is that most times people without a license, they have no insurance.
So if he gets hurt on my property when he is doing a job, he's unlicensed.
He sues you.
Oh, I can get sued.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
100%. So that $500 you saved by going to that unlicensed contractor, because, well, that licensed contractor who's been around for 39 years, like Ranger Air Conditioning, and tries their best to do everything by the book so that everybody is held accountable and everything is done properly.
Right.
Well, you've just saved $500, but because this guy slipped and fell through your ceiling and decided to turn around and sue you for about $500,000.
I didn't save any money.
That was a smart investment, that $500 savings.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but we could do a whole entire show. So today what we're going to be talking about is the City of Port St. Lucie Contractors Exam Board. Now, you can watch it on Channel 20, or you can also go to CoverTimeLive.com and click on the Contractors tab. And under that Contractors tab, you will see the City of Port St. Lucie's video there. But we're going to kind of go through it briefly. Some of the folks we're just going to touch base on, but there were some really good ones. I sat through this one yesterday, and I tell you, it was a long one. We didn't get out of there till started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get out of there till almost 2 o'clock.
Wow.
Very. Now these folks, they don't take any breaks. I mean, I thought that they were going to be serving, like food. Have the girl walking around with a little cart. Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks.
Get your Cracker Jacks. I'll take one over here in the back row.
Like the little lady in the airplane, walking with the cart. Would you like the little bottle? That's what I thought. So I'll have to be prepared next time.
Just sit back with her bowl of popcorn.
I'll have to be a little bit more prepared. So my hat's off to all the folks, and definitely my hat's off to the inspectors, Kevin Pierce. Oh, it's Matthew Betcher. Not Bocher, not Boucher.
Oh, you butchered that then. Did you actually talk to him?
I don't feel bad because one of the guys on the board butchered it too.
Oh.
So, yeah, I saw him. Great guy. So we have Matthew Betcher. We have Kevin Pierce. We had, hold on a second here, Dennis Millward, and, of course, the infamous Donna Noto. It's funny, during the meeting, Donna writes me a little note. And it says, "You're obligated to say only good stuff about me, Tom."
Nothing but the good stuff, Donna.
Nothing but the good stuff, Donna. Well, I wouldn't say anything else but that good stuff. So, all right, so let's get going here. So the board meeting starts at 10 o'clock. You can actually watch it. I'm not sure when the next board meeting is. I would assume that it's going to be on a Thursday at 10 o'clock. And possibly, since they said they're 1 month apart, well, maybe we're looking at probably this first or second week of August.
And they're having to do these once a month now because there's just so many yahoos out there.
This right here, I mean, this thing is 6 pages long of unlawful activity.
Wow.
Now, some of the information on here that we have, the people were found not guilty.
Man, it's almost longer than Cliff's rap sheet.
It goes to the moon and back.
No, some of the folks on here were found not guilty. Surprisingly enough, some of the people never even showed up.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm guilty. Here, let me just send you a check.
Some of the decisions, a majority of the decisions, I agree with. There's one or two that perhaps I do not agree with. But once again, I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Right.
I don't have the knowledge of being on the board as long as these folks have. So, but once again, that's a great thing about having your own radio show is you can give your opinion.
That's right. We can
Otherwise, Rush Limbaugh wouldn't be around anymore. That's what he does. He just gives his opinion. All right, so we're going to start off at the top. Joshua Muller, Muller. He was representing an organization called Crown Seamless Gutters. Now, it seems like Crown Seamless Gutters is not a local company, but what he was cited for originally was 2 counts of engaging in a business of a contractor without duly being certified or registered. Means he was doing work without a license. Then also that he willfully or deliberately disregarded any municipal ordinances relating to uncertified or unregistered, which means that he's done this in the past. This isn't his first offense. And because it's not his first offense, that means that, well, if I go and shoot somebody and I know it's wrong and I get in trouble for it and I turn around and go back out, well, I already knew it was wrong, but I still went out and did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, wouldn't be surprised if the young man never showed up.
Oh, of course.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. He has received multiple homeowner complaints. He's been in front of the board multiple times in the past and found guilty. Now, because this was his approximately 6th offense.
Wow, 6th time.
Yes. Now, because of this, the city could actually request a warrant for his arrest.
Really?
They could possibly. Now, they didn't, but they could possibly because he has been, because it's happened so many times, which was shocking. I didn't realize that. Now, what they did is they gave him, of course, the civil penalty for all of the issues for $460. And these were homes locally in our area. So the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is when you hire someone and they say they're licensed, you must ask for proof.
Please show me a copy of your license.
Never make a rash decision to do business with somebody immediately also just because they show you a license. Because if they're, some of these guys, they're as dumb as they are smart. Does that make a lot of sense?
Can I lease a license and do some work under somebody else's license?
Absolutely
If I gave
can.
them like $10 for letting me use his
There's
license?
people that do that all the time. I know many contractors that actually lease their licenses out for $1,000+ a month.
Really?
Absolutely.
And is that legal?
No, it is not.
So the illegal, unlicensed contractors can appear to be working legally.
Right. Or I say that I'm a licensed contractor. I come into your house to do the one thing that I am licensed for. However, I earn your trust, I earn your respect, and I tell you then, well, I'm licensed to do this aluminum work, but, you know, I also dabble in some electrical and I dabble in some plumbing. I could probably fix that stuff for you pretty inexpensively.
Save you some money.
Save you some money.
Keywords that lure the rat to the trap.
Yeah. And that's what happens a lot of times. These folks are licensed for one thing, but because homeowners are not always aware of it, and it's just as much their fault as the contractor, because when you're doing these things, it is your responsibility. You are the one sold to do your due diligence to make sure that the work that's being done is being done legally.
So basically what you're saying is some consumers are just as guilty as these unlicensed contractors.
Absolutely. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah.
there's a story that we're going to be talking about here that is one of the ones. Now, there was a bunch of them, but I'm only going to touch base on some of the major ones that we did. But with this Joshua Mueller one, so be careful if you come across this person, Joshua Mueller from Crown Seamless Gutters. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that this guy couldn't get his act together, okay? So I'm not saying to you never touch this guy, throw him out your door. But what I'm saying is if he comes to your home and tries to do business with you, make sure you do everything within your power to double, triple, quadruple check all of his documentation, call the local municipality to make sure that he has come in compliance
Yes.
with what he did. Now, I'm guessing because of all his multiple offenses, the chances of that happening are pretty slim. You know,
So hard, I've learned over the years, leopards, tigers, all that stuff, they don't change their spots.
no, they stay the same.
Yeah.
They just stay the same. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Contractors Exam Board. You're listening to Cover Time Live on WPSL 1590.
Tired of struggling to find the right air conditioning contractor? Heard those horror stories about people being scammed out of thousands of dollars? Well, Comfort Time Live has found a great air conditioning contractor that they approve and you can trust. Ranger Air Conditioning Service. Ranger has been in business on the Treasure Coast for more than 38 years, providing the best in quality and customer service. Ranger Air Conditioning Service is family-owned and operated by Tom Ranger. He and his highly trained staff and team members are waiting to earn your business. So give Ranger Air Conditioning Service a call at 772-546-7777. That's Ranger Air Conditioning Service at 772-546-7777 and recommended by Comfort Time Live. Don't forget to tell them you heard about them here on WPSL 1590 and receive a special discount.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing can help you schedule the on-time help you need. Busted water heater? ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Leaky faucet? ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Help with your honey-do list? Perhaps. Get help for $25 at ScheduleSomeHelp.com.
Limitations and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Elite Electric with security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Visit online at EliteElectricandAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live, Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL. Elite Electric, specializing in all your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family-owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at EliteElectricandAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live, Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL 1590.
340-1590. And now back to Comfort Time Live with Tom and Tina.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Comfort Time Live, and today we are talking about the CEB, Contractors Exam Board, that was just held yesterday at 10 o'clock over at the City Hall off of Rosso Ports and Lucie Boulevard. And if you're listening, you have any questions or comments, suggestions, maybe you've had work done by some of the folks that we're going to be talking about.
Call us up.
Call us up, 340-1590. I'd love to hear your experience.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. I want to hear from some first-hand people out there.
Absolutely. The next one on my list is kind of a strange one, and this is one of the ones that I would not want to have been on the board to make this decision. John Davidson. Now, once again, all this information is public knowledge. When you go on Channel 20 or ComfortTimeLive.com, you'll be able to watch and listen to all this information. So nothing that I am saying is secret double probation stuff. It's all public knowledge. So Mr. John Davidson was brought before the board being accused of engaging in 4 different types of businesses as an unlicensed contractor. 4? Wow. Well, electrical, plumbing, different things of that nature. Well, the way the story goes, and I'm just going to tell you the story, and of course you can listen to it. The way the story goes is originally this person was recommended because he was a contractor up north. And he was recommended to originally come in and put a fence up that was permitted by the homeowner. So the homeowner brought this individual in. Now, as a homeowner, you can do work in your home without a license, but if it's required to be permitted, you still have to pull the permit.
So I can pull a permit on my own.
Yes.
And do the work myself.
Yes.
And I don't have to be licensed because I'm the homeowner.
Correct.
So I can replace my water heater.
Yes.
Not hot water heater. I can replace I can do anything I want
Pretty much.
and not be licensed.
Pretty
But it still has to pass code.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, certain things, obviously you would need to have the knowledge to do.
Right. Okay.
The knowledge to. Well, anyway, so the individual was brought in to do a fence. The homeowner pulled the permit for the fence. They did the fence work. But they brought the gentleman in at a certain dollar amount per hour. It's $15 per hour they brought him in at, which was, the board was you kind of saw their light bulbs going off that, what contractor in his right mind would allow you to hire him for only $15 an hour? So it was kind of some red flags that went up there as to, okay, was he being hired as a laborer or was he truly being hired as a contractor?
All right.
So the homeowner states that he made them think that he was a general contractor and that they told him that they didn't need to pull any permits, that he would take care of everything. That's what they say.
Ooh, shame on you.
He says absolutely not. Never said anything like that. They brought me in as a laborer. I'm just here to help. He had all kinds of issues. His poor mom's on 24-hour care. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on. So this was a fun one to watch. Well, it basically came down to he said, she said. It came down to whether the homeowners were telling the truth about what this guy originally told them. That was he being brought on? Was he a general contractor who was coming in to do this work? That's what they were saying. He's saying they just hired him. So the funny thing is that the son-in-law of the homeowner was on Mr. Davison's side. The guy who was cited.
Really?
Yes. So somebody then said, well, the only reason he's on his side is because now he's mad at his mother-in-law.
Man, Judge Judy ain't got nothing on the contracting board. This is awesome.
This was a bucket of popcorn and some Twizzlers and a Diet Coke sitting there watching this one. It was funny going back and forth. And I tell you, this is one of the ones that I would not want to be on the board because this was a tough decision. You listen to this stuff and some of the things the guy said, it's like, God, I just don't believe him. And then there was like, somebody brought up something that they started covering up the windows to hide the work that they were doing because they knew that it was illegal. So it was back and forth saying that the homeowner did it, and it's a lot of information. But what the verdict came down to is they believed Mr. Davidson was hired as a laborer, and that he did not portray himself as a contractor.
Do not tell me he got away with this.
He got away with all of it.
Oh, man.
Because they believed that he was telling the truth versus what the homeowner was, because there were some holes in the homeowner's story.
Okay.
Now, the guy Davidson had a couple people there as witnesses that were also hired as laborers there to do work, and they vouched for him that, hey, all of us were here to do this. So that was a tough one, though, because there was a lot of things that I say, you know what, I don't believe this Davidson guy at all. There was a lot of things that I say that I didn't believe anything the homeowner was saying, that holes were being shot in it. But basically what it was is he was being accused of going into the home and that there was electrical work done and plumbing work done that he was doing. But the fact is if he was hired as a laborer by the homeowner to do this work, that it's okay. As long as he's not portraying himself as a licensed contractor, as long as the homeowner, and this is where the homeowner got themselves shot. This is probably what sealed the deal for him. They did not pull permits on any of the work
Not a permit, huh? Not one
No.
permit.
Not one permit. So that's where I think it kind of pushed the board over the edge to say, wait a minute. If they were hiring him and they were supposed to be doing this work legitimately, and this guy said, I want permits on everything, why were there not permits pulled on this? Well, now he tried to put the blame back on the son-in-law and the guy like that. So it was a tough one. But they believe that Mr. Davison did not do this work, promoting himself as a contractor, that it was the homeowner, and they were, basically saying that the homeowner should be fined and not Mr. Davison. So Mr. Davison, he had 4 different citations. The right to work law, I don't think that's got. What were you thinking about on that?
Well, okay, so the homeowner was actually cited, and
No, the homeowner was not cited. Just the guy that was hired to do the work by the homeowner.
Mhm.
He got caught doing the work,
Right.
and the homeowner is the one who actually called the city to get this guy in trouble, because they say that he promoted himself to them as a general contractor, and that he told them that they didn't need to pull the permits, that he would take care of it because he was a general contractor. So all this work was being done. Well, this is the part that I have a hard time believing, is that if they believed him that they didn't have to pull permits, then I understand why those permits for the electrical and plumbing were pulled. But it is. It's just one. There was so much information on this one. It's just a he said, she said. It was really tough.
He said that she said. He said that I could use his cell phone. Yeah. And that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
So
I thought that that he was hired as a laborer.
right, correct.
Right. So that's why he was off the hook.
Well, no, he was off the hook because being hired as a laborer means that he was not. There was no contract between them. If they had gotten him to sign a contract saying that I'm hiring you as a contractor for you to do the work, which is another reason why they cited for the him.
Right, a contractor has to have a contract.
There was no contract. So because there was no contract, that also led them to believe that he was only being hired as a day laborer.
Okay, so that constitutes labor.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you what,
he wasn't representing himself as a laborer.
Right.
Okay.
$15 an hour for a day laborer?
Yeah.
I went in on that.
So the moral of this story, ladies and gentlemen, is if you are bringing anybody into your home to do any type of work, and you are bringing them in as a contractor of any sorts, and that you're just not hiring them for $10-15 an hour to clean up the garage, you need to have a contract between you. Otherwise, like these folks, they may have been 100% right, this homeowner, but because there was no contract, they lost.
Makes sense.
You need to have a contract. Never have anything done in your home of any sort first without checking to make sure that it has to be permitted, because it all falls on you, ladies. It's your house. It's your responsibility. And unfortunately, with all the information that's out there to us, the old saying, I didn't know, it doesn't work anymore.
What did they used to say? Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Because there's so many ways to find out now. It takes you 2 seconds to pick up the phone and call the local municipality that you're in and saying, hey, I'm doing this. Do I need a permit or not?
And
they'll
tell you.
Worst case scenario, they may say, could you come in and give us some more detail? Could you take a picture of what you're doing?
Right.
Then it only takes a few minutes. They'll be more than happy to explain to you, nah, you don't need a permit for that.
They might want a little more, though, like maybe a schematic or
It could be.
a drawing.
It
or
could be. It could be.
plan.
So that's the moral of the story. But it does not hurt to pick up the phone and make a phone call, because, I mean, do you know the time and energy and money that was invested into this? That now the homeowner, now they ended up after this, which is one of those other things that kind of throws this out of proportion. After they found out that all this work was done, they turned around and hired licensed contractors to do the work and get it all done and did it. So that's another thing that I think that maybe he might have portrayed himself at the beginning. So it's like a backup. It's like every time they talk, you're like, yeah, they're right. Every time he would talk, you'd be like, yeah, he's right. And then and it's like you're back and forth.
But it sounds like part of that $3.2 billion a year that's lost.
Yeah, it's just insane. Then next on our list is our infamous, and we've said this name on the show, Mr. Brian Scott Dodd.
Him again.
Him again. Deja vu. Mr. Brian Scott Dodd was the gentleman that we talked about last time we did the Contractors Exam Board. Now, Mr. Dodd has been continually cited for engaging in the business of a contractor without being certified and registered, meaning
Still.
he does not have a license. So this is a different citation than the one from the last meeting for a different project. Well, he took the test again for about the 8th time in, let me hold on, get my fingers and toes out, about 8 years, 7 or 8 years.
Did he come any closer?
No. He failed the test again for his aluminum and limited concrete license. Now, the reason it's aluminum and limited concrete is because when you're building a screen porch, there is some minor concrete involved. So they give you a limited concrete. But that doesn't mean because you have limited concrete that you can go out and build a sidewalk.
And do a whole slab for a house.
Yeah.
This
well,
gives you limited concrete, one bag of ready mix at a time.
and that's what he got busted for, was he built a sidewalk. Well, you have to have a concrete license for that. Well, once again, he was fined 2 different times for engaging in the business of contractor and willfully and deliberately disregarding any municipal ordinances. However, he was only fined for the one, but one of the comments made from a board member is, you know, if you're in this business and you're working in a business and you fail the test for the business 7 or 8 times, maybe you need to choose a different line of work.
Yes, I agree. I just, you know what, if you can't pass the test and it doesn't make any sense. It's like me going out and trying to take the test for electrical. I don't know anything about electrical.
Yeah. So if a gentleman comes to your home and his name is Brian Scott Dodd or Brian Dodd and he is trying to do aluminum and concrete work, once again, you need to check everything out. Now, he may, highly doubt it because this has been going on since 2006.
Hey, he might get it right on the 9th or 10th time.
He may pass it. He may get everything legal. So I'm not saying throw the man out your door before you do some testing. What I'm saying is check all his credentials, call the local municipality, and make sure that he has turned himself around and that he has done it. But again, you are responsible for checking with the contractors who are in your home and making sure that they do the work by the note of the law. All right, so I'm just going to blow through some other ones here. There was a couple here that were dismissed. Now, here's a good one. Here's a good one that I like from James R. Lundy III from Top of the Line Air and Heat.
We've heard that name before.
Yeah, we heard that name before. Well, Mr. Lundy was cited for not having a permit when he replaced some air conditioning equipment. Now, this specific instance was from 5 years ago.
You're kidding me.
No.
Literally, 5 years ago.
Years.
Oh, wait a minute. We forgot. You did this 5 years ago.
Well, here's the issue.
Or did the homeowner, did they get caught and find out, oh, you never pulled a permit for this 5 years ago. Who did the
It was
work?
a condenser, an
Okay.
outside condenser that a permit wasn't pulled. There was multiple systems that he got busted for, but we're talking about this specific one. Well, the issue at the last meeting was because Mr. Lundy was incarcerated, meaning he was in jail. So he was unable
And this is better than,
to get the inspections
TV.
on the permits, okay, because he was in jail. So after being in jail for so long and for so many multiple times, the city decided that, well, we're going to do our best to try to contact the homeowner and deal with this. Well, obviously, I don't think the brain power was there for Mr. Lundy, that he figured, well, gosh, if the city's going to handle it, I don't have to do anything else. They're taking care of it.
Right.
It's not my responsibility now. Well, the only reason the city was going to take care of it is because Mr. Lundy was incarcerated. Now, according to Mr. Lundy, during the meeting, when asked, well, how long have you been in jail? Oh, I've been in and out quite a few times over the past 3 or 4 years.
No,
About every 3 months or so.
If somebody tells me, if a contractor tells me that I've been in and out of jail over and on for the last couple of years. Is this really somebody you want to have work for you and do contracting work?
No.
All right, just checking.
No. And it's funny as could be because the first character that came to my mind when I was listening to this guy was Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way he was talking. I swear to you.
I swear to God, we're going to jail.
I couldn't understand half the thing he was saying. Luckily, they could. But it just, and the whole point came down to is that when he did the job the first time, he didn't pull a permit. Period.
If he pulled the permit, he'd be fine.
There would be no problem.
All right.
And he kept going back to, well, the city told him that they were going to take care of it. Yeah, well, that was 5 years after because you were in jail.
This is absolutely hilarious.
So now you get out of jail. Now you call them and you say, okay, I'm out of jail. I can handle this now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got a new idea. Next month at the new meeting, we're selling tickets on air to this. Okay, don't be afraid to call us up. 340-1590. Let us know. We can get you seats.
I wonder if they would legally let us do that. Probably not, since it's a free public hearing.
I'll pull a permit for that.
That's a good idea.
I'll pull a permit, but I'm selling tickets to this fanfare.
Oh, it's worth its way to go. But the nice thing is that anybody's welcome to come there, and also they watch it on TV. But it's some funny stuff. It really is. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and take our next quick break. Give us a call here at the studio, 340-1590. Questions, comments, suggestions. Maybe you're one of these folks we're talking about and you want to state your case. Love to hear from you. We'll be right back.
Tired of struggling to find the right air conditioning contractor? Heard those horror stories about people being scammed out of thousands of dollars? Well, Comfort Time Live has found a great air conditioning contractor that they approve and you can trust. Ranger Air Conditioning Service. Ranger has been in business on the Treasure Coast for more than 38 years, providing the best in quality and customer service. Ranger Air Conditioning Service is family-owned and operated by Tom Ranger. He and his highly trained staff and team members are waiting to earn your business. So give Ranger Air Conditioning Service a call at 772-546-7777. That's Ranger Air Conditioning Service at 772-546-7777 and recommended by Comfort Time Live. Don't forget to tell them you heard about them here on WPSL 1590 and receive a special discount.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing would like to help you schedule some help, whatever on-time help you need. For plumbing emergencies like a busted water heater, go to schedulesomehelp.com. Sewage problems? Schedulesomehelp.com. If water is dripping from your ceiling, schedulesomehelp.com. If you need help repairing that leaky faucet or upgrading your shower head, schedulesomehelp.com. Want help with your golf game? Yep, schedulesomehelp.com. Right now, get help for $25 at schedulesomehelp.com. Limitations and exclusions apply. See schedulesomehelp.com for full details. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing can help you schedule the on-time help you need. Busted water heater? Schedulesomehelp.com. Leaky faucet? Schedulesomehelp.com. Help with your honey-do list? Perhaps. Get help for $25 at schedulesomehelp.com.
Limitations and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Elite Electric with security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Visit online at eliteelectricanair.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live, Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL.
11:46 at WPSL. Now back to Comfort Time Live with Tom and Dino.
All right, welcome back to Comfort Time Live. We're talking today about the Contractors Exam Board. Now, there's so many. I mean, this took us like from 10 to 2. How many hours is that? Like 4 hours, right?
Right, something like that.
Something like that. Well, I can't cram this all into one show, so I'm just going to pinpoint a couple things. Now, some of the things deal with levels of suspension or levels of documentation, certain actions required. Now, we have 1 through 4, and some of these folks have a level 1 action.
Basically, yeah, level 1 is no action at all.
All right, and then some of them had a level 2. What's a level 2?
Level 2 is letter of reprimand placed in the contractor's file. Basically, it's a slap on the wrist. Don't do this again.
Exactly. And then we have one here, which is a level 3.
Ooh, we're getting up there. Level 3. suspension of a license for any amount of days, and that's for registered only. That's not for being certified, state certified. That's locally registered.
Okay, now this individual was Michael Hoskins, who is an aluminum contract. Let me go to Mr. Hoskins' file here. Of Hoskins and Clark Enterprise, who was brought in because of proceeding without inspections and knowingly violating applicable building codes. Now, the issue was an enclosure. Contractor has not repaired it in over 3 months. Now, the funny thing with this is the homeowner actually came in to stand up for the guy, saying that the guy did a pretty good job, everything was fine, but there was a leak, and the contractor has not fixed it in over 3 months. Well, that doesn't say too much about the contractor.
No.
He actually had suspension of his permitting privileges for 365 days or until the problem is resolved.
Wow.
Now, one thing I did find out from this is that these folks can actually temporarily suspend licenses in the city. They can also suspend permitting privileges, which basically stops this guy from being able to do any legal work anywhere else until he fixes the problem. Because the problem has gone on for so long, it's like, okay, stop.
90 days to fix the leak. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and then what do we have? What do we got? A level
Well, we got 2 level 3s. Now, the first level 3 was the suspension of the license for registered only.
Right.
Now, the second level 3 is suspension of your permitting privileges for how many ever number of days.
Right.
But that's for a certified license only. So if you're state certified. Now, there is a level 4. I think level 4 needs to be invoked a lot more than what they do. Level 4 is revocation of license for how many number of years, undisclosed. And any type of these, there's a $205 administration fee anytime you any of these, except for level 1, obviously.
and a lot of these actually no, yeah, a lot of these they are given a level 1, and then they pay the administration fee.
Okay, so the administration fee also is enacted on a level 1 also.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that. So now a lot of these people didn't show up. There was no shows. A level 2 submitted with a fee of $205 fine. One person didn't put a 40-gallon water heater in. He didn't show up. Of course, you don't show up, you can't fight it. So they're automatically going to give you a level 2 and pay the administration fee. Now here's the last one for our show, and there's so much more I can go into this. There's actually another one that you got to watch. It's at the very end of the show involving Clemmy Hill, who's a gray stucco and plastering. But here's the one that I disagree with the results of this one. Steve Singer. Steve Singer is a handyman. He has a business that's called Definitely Different Home Repairs.
Definitely
This
different.
guy looks freaky. I mean, just weird. He was accused of not pulling a permit on work done in a house. I can't imagine any more evidence being given to the board by the inspector, Kevin Pierce. What had happened is Definitely Different Home Repair, Mr. Steve Singer, who, surprisingly enough, this wasn't his first time in front of the board. He's actually been cited before for unlicensed activity.
Surprise, surprise.
So the thing is that he was hired by the homeowner to redo a sink in the kitchen and I think another wet sink or something of that nature, but the sink in the kitchen. Now what he was doing was putting in a new sink but swapping the sides so that the garbage disposal will be on the opposite side of the sink. So now, I'm not a plumber, got a little bit of experience, but when you move something that far, typically the water lines need to be rerouted. Okay?
Okay.
The plumbing, the drain lines would need to be rerouted. On his proposal to the homeowner, it says modify water lines.
What does that mean to you? Modify.
It means I got to do something to them to make them fit the new configuration.
Okay.
Mr. Pierce went out there and took multiple pictures of what was done. Now, this was only 2 days after the job had been supposedly completed. He took pictures. If you are just redoing the drain lines which involves nothing but us going to the store and picking up some plastic pipe and screwing something in. There is no permit required. The water lines that come in typically have to be sweated in if you're making a major change. If that is being done, there is a permit required.
Yeah, but most of those water lines are flex lines. You screw one side in, you run.
Yeah, but you're talking moving a sink. You're talking a garbage disposal moving here. You're probably talking moving that thing 18 to 20 inches.
Okay.
Those flex lines they don't go 18 to 20 inches.
Okay.
They're just short lines.
All right.
But there was copper work done under the sink, and he took pictures of it. The homeowner told him that this guy changed these water lines. Okay? So you got the inspector with pictures, you got documentation from the homeowner, you got documentation from the proposal, and Mr. Singer also had his attorney there. And I'm sorry, but it's nice to have an attorney when you own a business in case somebody's suing you or whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But when you have an attorney because you go in front of the contractor's exam board so many times, red flags go up for me.
Ooh, so you've got your attorney on retainer every month.
Just red flags go up on there for me. So anyway, what they did, and of course he had his attorney there, so the attorney says, well, this isn't fair unless we can talk to the homeowner. Well, of course, the attorneys are just going to find all the loopholes that they possibly can. But I'm sorry, there was so much evidence there to show that this guy had done this work, and they tabled it. Now, what had happened is the homeowner was so furious at the work that had been done, he called another licensed contractor in, and the licensed contractor looked at it and says, I gotta pull a permit just to fix the problems that this guy made mistakes on. And so that's another reason that says to me, oh, wait a minute. So the new plumber had to pull a permit just to fix what the other guy did. So if he had to pull a permit to do that, that means that he had to have done that without a permit.
Right.
And then they're saying, well, no, that was always like that. And the homeowner's like, no, it wasn't. Kevin Pierce is saying, no, it wasn't, because if it was like that and that was done when the house was originally built, there's no way the house would have passed CO and inspection the first time if it was done that way.
Right.
So it was just, but once again, I'm not on the board. I'm not making the decision. But just from a spectator sitting out there listening to everything going on, that's the one decision that I have to disagree with. I thought that there was more evidence. And the funny thing is
what'd the board say though? What was you've got pictures.
Well, they had the attorney there, and now the city has their own attorney there as well. And if you watch the video, the attorney actually made a statement at the end after everything was done that I took it as that maybe the decision could have gone a different way, because his statement at the end was that in these type of proceedings, you do not need to have specific witnesses. Okay, if Kevin Pierce, because they trusted Kevin Pierce and because he is a reputable source of information, if he specifically stated that the homeowner made these statements and he has all the proof, that they should have been able to accept that as enough evidence.
It sounds like there was tons of evidence.
Yeah. Well, they tabled it. I don't know if it was because the other attorney was there, which I don't know why, but and the other thing was they kept trying to go, but they were talking about his other offenses, and of course the city attorney stepped in and said, listen, this decision, this fine, this penalty can only be determined by facts on this case only. You can't, this guy could have been in front of you a million times, but you can only make this decision based on the facts in front of you. And I'm sorry, the facts to me were overwhelming.
That's one of the calls where I would have been sitting in the back heckling, "You suck, ref." That was a bad call. He was totally out of bounds. "You suck, ref." That's exactly what I would have done. And I just happen to have the number of one of these guys that sit on the board. And, I'm calling him up this afternoon, and I'm going to quiz him.
Well, once again, we weren't there, and we're definitely going to be sitting at the next one, and they're going to have one every month. So I'm definitely going to sit at the next one. We're going to find out what happens on this. But you got to watch this. You can go to ComfortTimeLive.com. I'm going to post this under the Contractors tab, where you can watch the whole thing. Now, this one specifically that I had the issue for is towards the very end. Probably, I would say within the last hour, 45 minutes to an hour of the whole thing is when it happened. And there's one at the very end, which was great because it was the homeowner was there and it got heated. Oh, and she was livid. She was all over this guy.
Are we talking because I like baseball? Are we talking a Billy Martin kicking dirt in the ump's shoes?
Pretty close.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Oh, she was, and and the board's just sitting there and they're shaking their head, going, oh yeah,
You crook! You said you were gonna do this, and you're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what. And
I want my money back.
And he basically, I mean, he's got $6,000 of her. Now, here's one thing: in the city of Port St. Lucie, if any work that is permitted is over $2,500, a notice of commencement has to be done. Well, he knew this. The work he did was $12,000 to $13,000, and he falsified documents to the city saying that the job was only $2,400 so that a notice of commencement didn't have to be posted.
Hey, if you are falsifying documents, you're a contractor going in to do a job for somebody, and you're falsifying documents. Is this somebody I want coming to work for me?
Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Falsifying documents.
What they did is they suspended his license for 90 days, meaning he cannot do any work for 90 days. His name was Clemmy Hill from Grace Stucco and Plastering. So if he comes to your house anytime within the next 90 days to do any kind of work,
he is not licensed.
He is not licensed. Now, once again, I would still call the city and validate it, but he is not licensed, and it's the easiest thing to do. Donna and any of those folks in the city will be more than happy to answer the question: is this guy legally allowed to do business in your city? That's all it takes. And does the work that I'm doing fall under his license?
And do I need a permit?
I need a permit?
It's the easiest thing to pull a permit. It really
absolutely,
is.
Absolutely.
When in doubt,
especially in the city of St. Lucie, it's a cakewalk.
Hey, when in doubt, pull a permit. Call.
That's it. When in doubt. All right, well, Cover Time Live, as you know, is heard every Friday from 11:05 to 12. Do not forget to go to CoverTimeLive.com. Do not forget to go to unlicensed2steal.com. Tell me what city or county that you're in so I can make sure I contact them and get all their information up and running. Folks, have a great day. Mr. Dino.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This has been a pleasure.
It's been an honor. Mr. Cliff, have a great one. We'll see you next Saturday. Happy Friday the 13th.
Bye-bye now.
Comfort Time Live, Fridays in the 11 o'clock hour, right here on Digital 1590. Stick around.